All right, I've been getting a lot of questions about the grade sheet, the public grade sheet. A lot of people are making mistakes in reading the grade sheet and trying to figure out their own grades, and sometimes those mistakes can be quite scary. So I'm going to make a quick video to show you how to decipher the grade sheet. Now, obviously, some of you still haven't received your public number, so you don't know how to use the grade sheet at all and haven't tried. For those of you, I highly recommend contacting me to get that. Please excuse the noise in the background. My neighbors are working with some heavy machinery. So anyway, let us get started. First thing I want to do is share my screen with you. All right, and at this point, you should be able to see my screen, and this is what it looks like when you see the public grade sheet. Again, because this is public, obviously I cannot have your names here because we can't be sharing everybody's grades. So you have all been given a specific number, and that's what you need to look at right here, public number. So let's say, for example, your public number is 17. You've emailed me, I've told you what your public number is. This is where you will go to get your overall grade. Excuse me. So scroll down here to number 17. Oh, I would figure I would choose that one. All right. Let's say your public number was 18. All right, so here we go. You look under here, under where it says public number, and then you scroll down to your number. In this case, in this example, the person's number is 18. Now, the first thing I want to point out is this is, if you are number 18, then all this information, this is you, right? This is your information because you're looking right here where it says 18, public number 18. What you're not looking at is this right here. This is a glitch. You can see right here that these are always one off. Now, I plan on fixing that for next semester. Obviously, that does you no good. But again, look under the public number. So look at this second row here under A. Look under that instead of this, because you can see here, for example, if your public number is 19, all right, and you're looking at this, if you were to look here instead, you would be looking at this instead, right? So you would think you're doing better than you are because whoever number 19 is actually has a D as opposed to number 18 who has a C. So anyway, that's the first thing you need to understand. A lot of this is pretty straightforward. Obviously, your exam grades are your exam grades. Exam 1, Exam 2, Exam 3, all three of the first exams are out of 100 points, so you can see how many points you received there. The same will be for Exam 3 once we have that. Exam 4 is a little bit different because Exam 4 is the final exam. It's longer and it's comprehensive. So it is worth 200 points as opposed to just 100 points. Therefore, the grade needs to reflect that. Anyway, here's the part where it gets a little bit more complicated, but not much. This is your adjusted exam score. So for example, if, let's look at this person here. They had a 78 at first, and then they had an 81 on the second time, right? So if we were to take their average, and then look at the fact that by the end of the semester, we should have 500 points worth of exams, right? That means that based on the average that they have right now between these two exams, then at the end of the semester, they will have had 399.82 points out of 500, right? So that's how that works. Now, this is a little bit less important for you because who cares what this says? You still have 2 more exams to change this. However, this number is used to calculate this number, which all this information over here, which actually tells you what your grade is. And I'll come back to that. So anyway, that's your adjusted exam total. Adjusted lab total. Again, we haven't had all the labs yet. The entire semester in lab is worth 300 points, and we're not there yet. However, based on this person's average in lab, if you were to extrapolate that, then that means out of 300 points at the end of the semester, they would have 249.7 based on their current average. And again, this number is used to determine their current grade. Then we go here to attendance, same situation. We haven't, obviously we're a little bit past the midway point in the semester, so we still have classes to go, more times to meet. Now, attendance itself, at the end of the day, at the end of the semester, it will be worth 100 points. So this person, based on how many times they've been to class, they have a 60.73% average. So if we were to extrapolate that, again, out of the entire 100, they would have 60.73 points. Independent work, same thing. This is out of 100. So, at this point in the semester, you should have 90 points worth of independent work, right? So this person right here, let's go scroll down and use this person as an example. This person who has public number 25, they might have 90 points worth of independent work. However, since that is all that is required as of this week, then that means they have 100% of what is expected, right? Therefore, their adjusted independent work grade is 100. So please, this is worth pausing and making sure you understand this. When you're looking down here at this tab right here that says total, and you're looking at your independent work, this is not your actual number of independent work, right? And this is not your actual grade. This is the adjusted grade. As of next week, this will be your actual grade, because as of next week, you should have 100 points. So anyway, yeah, please don't confuse that. Moving forward, total points out of 1,000. Again, excuse me, we are only 9 weeks into the semester, right? We are not at the end. Therefore, if we were looking at your actual points, you wouldn't have close to 1,000. But that doesn't help you, right? Because that doesn't tell you how you're doing. Say for example, this person right here with the highest grade, their total points, they have 516.41 points. In all actuality, right? That's how many points they actually have. Of course, if it was out of 1,000, if this was the end of the semester and that was their total points, that would be a 50%, right? They would have an F. However, at this point in the semester, because there's some math going on behind the scenes that you don't see, 516.41 points at this point in the semester is actually worth an A, right? So this part right here probably doesn't mean much to you, your actual number of points, but it is there just in case you want to know, and also so I can refer to it. So what matters for you mostly is your actual letter grade right here, right? So that's what you look at least until the end. Now at the end, this will be very helpful, because let's say this is the last day of class, and this person, let me choose another example. Well, that's the highest grade. Anyway, at the end of the day, at the end of the semester, your actual points will matter, because then you'll know, how far were you away from a B or a C or a D, that it'll give you that information. This is not very important, but in case you're interested, this lets you know where you stand regarding the rest of your classmates. So this person, obviously, that'll show the highest grade. This person has, they're number one. Their rank is number one, right? This person is ranked number 10. You can have all that information. This grade here in the black, this tells you what your grade would be if there was no independent work. And for the most part, it seems pretty consistent. This person here, they have an F, but if it wasn't for independent work, they would have a D. So independent work has hurt this person. This person would have same with this person, right? This person has a C, but without independent work, they would have a B, and that is very common for this portion of the semester. Now, towards the end, you'll see it flip flop. You'll see it towards the end where people would have normally have had a bad grade, but that extra 100 points of independent work has actually boosted their grade. So anyway, that's there for you too. This number right here, it's not very useful for a few reasons. This is strictly mathematical. So I devised a formula that I set up in the spreadsheet to where it looks at how many points you've had, how many potential points there have been. For example, the formula knows that we've had 2 exams. So the formula knows that in a perfect world, you would have had 200 points in exams, and that you only have 300 points left in the exams, right? So it does all that math. And in theory, this is the highest grade this person can get, right? Based off of what they've done. Even if they were to score 100% on everything else, then they would have a 715.2 points, which is actually a C. That being said, it is not very accurate for many reasons that I won't get into, because it's not that pertinent to you. But if you are interested, you can meet me during office hours and I can show you. But the closer we get to the end of the semester, the more accurate this number is. But again, if you really want to know what the highest grade possible is, which sometimes can be valuable. For example, when it comes time when you have to make a decision whether you want to drop the class or keep going, then it does help to know what your highest possible grade is. And one more thing I'll say about this, and the biggest reason that this is not accurate is because I've been very flexible this semester. So labs, for example, this person has a 266.30 in lab, right, out of 300. However, they can still go back and fix the mistakes they've made. For partial credit, anything that's past due, you only get partial credit, but that's still an improvement, right? So their grade could still improve. Their highest grade possible could still improve. So keep that in mind. Moving forward, again, this is just the total. This is the overview. If you want to get specific, like let's say you're missing labs, you can go here and see which labs you're missing. So this person right here, number 3, we can see what they got on each lab. They can see what they got on their own lab. This person is missing lab number 3, right? So this person could, knowing that they're missing lab number 3 on paper, could go back and look and see, are they actually missing it, or was it a mistake on my end? Perhaps they turned it in late for partial credit and failed to tell me that they turned it in late, because remember, you have to tell me you turn things in late if you want me to go back and grade them. So that could be the situation. But anyway, again, you can use this to tell you exactly what you're missing and exactly what grade you got on exactly which lab, which can also be handy because, again, mistakes happen. This says right here that this person got 4.17 points on the pre-lab. But if you are that person and you look back and say, hey, wait a minute, I looked back on this lab and you actually said I had 4.87 points, then that would be my mistake. You let me know and I can fix it. That's pretty much it for lab. So the number that you got on that total sheet over here, the first one we looked at, that comes from this. So again, this is your adjusted total. This person right here actually has 142.303 points. But if we were to adjust that for, the percentage of what they have versus what they should have at the end, which is 300 points, then they would have 266.3. And in case you're wondering, this is how that works. This is also a little bit of information that you might be interested in. For each lab, I have the average. So we know the pre-lab for the first one, the average was a 4.22 out of 5. Actually, this tells me, in the pre-lab, the highest grade was a 5, the lowest was a 1.02, so on and so forth, right? And you can see there's some issues here that I need to work on. But you can see the average in case you are curious. The same can be said for this, and I meant to tell you this earlier, and that was a good reminder. So I'm back here looking at the bottom of the screen. I'm back at the total tab, the one we started on. Here, obviously, a perfect score. It tells you what the perfect score is for everything. But then if you're looking, for example, for lab 1 or exam 1, there's the average, there was the highest score, there was the lowest score, and then you can even scroll down and see the distribution. 3 A's, 6 B's, 6 C's, 5 D's, 3 F's, right? So it's all right here for you to see. Moving forward, independent, this one's very handy, at least for the next week, because obviously independent work is due. It's done next week, so after that, it won't be very handy, but for now, it is. So you can come here, and this is very important to see how many actual points you have. And again, as of this week, I'll scroll down here and show you. As of this week, if you were a perfect score, you have 90 points, right? Because it's 10 points a week. So, and this is a great way to illustrate what I was saying earlier. This person has 5.6. Let me choose somebody else. Here we go. This person has 90.8 actual points. But because there's only 90 points that are needed as of today, then that means they have a 100.9% for this week. Now, if they don't do anything between this week and next week, then their grade would be smaller, right? They would have 90.08 points out of 100. So that would be their actual average. And again, as always, if you have questions, let me know. But yes, this can tell you how many points you have until you're done. And obviously, you can look here to see your actual grades for each individual assignment you've turned in. All right, going back to the bottom, one more tab. Let's look at attendance. This is very straightforward. Up here's the dates, right? So you can see what date we're looking at. Over here's the public number. So let's say you're public number 11. You can go in and see you can look at your attendance, right? This person was present. This person got extra credit on that day. Present. And then you can see this person has a huge gap where they have no attendance points between September 15th and September 29th. So now, knowing this person can go back and look at the emails and make sure that they didn't email me for attendance and say, because again, perhaps there's a mistake on my end. In which case, they can say, "Hey, look, here's the email where you said, or where I was present. I gave you an email that said I was present." So that can help you for that purpose, for correcting mistakes on my end. Or, which is more likely the case, there is not a mistake on my end and you were absent. In this case, you can go back, right? So this person can look at this date and say, all right, November 15th, what can I do? And then they can go back to the Google Classroom. They can go through the stream and they can find the video from September 15th and they can watch it and they can answer the videos and they can get partial credit for attendance because, again, it's past due. So there's no way you'll get the full credit of 2.4, but you could at least get half credit, the 1.2 points. So again, this is very handy for you. You don't have to email me and say, hey, what days was I absent? It's all right here for you in the spreadsheet, right? It shows you which days you were absent. And that's it. That's it for the grades. Again, the one thing I want to emphasize, because I see this mistake all the time, one of the first things I said, there is a difference between your actual number, which is right here, the public number, and then the number to the left, right? So if you are public number 7, make sure you're looking here where it says public number 7. Make sure you're not looking at this number all the way to the left, because then you would be looking at this grade, right? So this person who actually has a C might think that they're doing okay and they have a B, right? So that's it. As always, if you have questions, let me know. And I am going to stop recording right now.